Do not despise any line in the Bible, for the Bible proceeded out of the mouth of God. Every word, phrase, clause, and sentence proceeded out of his mouth. It is a serious matter to read a phrase in the Bible. You may prove this by reading Genesis chapter 2, verse 5 to 6 again and again with a praying spirit. If you pray and read these verses in such a way, you will be nourished. However, if you do not do the same thing with some lines from the Los Angeles Times or the Center and Register, you will be clued. There is a great difference between secular writings and the Holy Bible. Every word in the Bible is holy, is something of God. God had not caused it to rain upon the earth. This signifies that God had not sent down his Spirit to mingle with man who was to be made with the dust of the ground. In Joel chapter 2 verse 23, 28 to 29, we see that God's Spirit is allegorized as the rain. Some Christians criticize us for allegorizing the Bible too much. However, we must realize that allegorizing the Bible is proper because much of it, especially Genesis 1 and 2, is written in figurative language. Paul himself allegorized the Old Testament. In 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 6, he mentions the God who commanded light to shine out of darkness. This certainly refers to Genesis 1, that the very God who commanded light to shine out of darkness now shines in us, means that God's work in Genesis 1 is an allegory of what he is doing within us today. In Galatians 4, Paul allegorized Sarah, Abraham's wife, and Hagar, Abraham's concubine. Paul allegorized these two women as two covenants. Therefore, the best way to understand the Old Testament is to allegorize it. In the four Gospels, the Lord Jesus allegorized almost everything. He allegorized all of the types, shadows, and figures found in the Old Testament. He said that he was Solomon, David, the Sabbath, the light, the food, the air, the door, the shepherd, and the pasture. He was everything. Therefore, we need to allegorize the Bible. I encourage you to do this. Now we are going to allegorize Genesis chapter 2, verse 5 to 6, where we are told that God did not cause rain to come on the earth. This signifies that God had not yet sent his heavenly rain, his spirit, down to earth. When the rain descends to the earth, it soaks into the ground and mingles with it for the purpose of producing life. Now we can see the point that there was no rain before God created man signifies that the spirit from heaven had not yet mingled with something of dust to produce life. There was no man to till the ground, and there was not a man to till the ground. This signifies that there was no man to work with God in coordination by human labor with the divine. Many Christians are too super spiritual. When they are too super, they become superficial. They are superficially spiritual, saying we should not do anything. The Spirit does everything. This is wrong. If you do nothing, God cannot do anything, for he needs human labor to cooperate with his divine labor. What is the use of the rain coming down if there is no man to till the ground? If as a man you have tilled the ground, you have the right to pray, Lord, I am here, send the rain. Then God will send rain. However, suppose there is no man upon the earth claiming the rain, and some angels say, Oh God Jehovah, why don't you send the rain? God will reply, if I send my rain, it will be wasted. I am waiting for a man to till the ground. Once the man on the earth has tilled the ground, I will send rain.